Welcome to the Explainer. If you're someone who really likes to, dig in and master the core mechanics of the game, well, you're in exactly the right place. Today, we're pulling straight from our source material to build the ultimate rule guide for a literally massive mechanic, Pokémon VMAX. We're going to break down exactly how these absolute titans work on the table and how they fundamentally shift the entire math of the game. So let's just start right at the top with the most fundamental question. What exactly is a Pokémon VMAX? I mean, it's super easy to look at these massive, honestly beautiful cards and just think of them as big hitters. But understanding their precise mechanics, that is exactly what separates casual players from tournament winners.
All right, step 1. Meet Pokémon VMAX.
Okay, let's really dive into this. VMAX is officially defined in the rules as a completely new stage in the game. It isn't a basic Pokémon, and it's definitely not a traditional Stage 1 or Stage 2 either. And that really matters strategically. Because cards are abilities that specifically search your deck for a Stage 1 Pokémon, yeah, those won't work here. It occupies its own completely unique ecosystem, and that foundational identity, well, it pretty much dictates everything else about how the card is played.
Moving right along, step 2, the evolution connection.
So here is how they actually play out on the board. First off, they officially count as evolution cards, which means standard evolution rules totally apply. You can't just, drop a VMAX down on your very first turn. Your base Pokemon V has to survive a turn first. And crucially, actually, this is incredibly important, despite being a brand new stage, they are still officially classified as a Pokemon V. So they evolve, they follow the normal rules of evolution, but they definitely retain that core V classification.
And because a VMAX keeps that V classification, it creates this unavoidable mechanical bridge. Basically, any item, any tool, or any opponent's attack that specifically targets a standard Pokemon V, well, it's going to automatically hit your Pokemon VMAX just as hard. The game basically treats them as permanently linked together in this highly specific way.
In fact, the official rules literally leave zero room for doubt here. Quote, if something affects Pokemon V, it also affects Pokemon VMAX. End quote. Knowing this is absolutely vital for your defensive planning. You can't just evolve your way out of a negative effect if it targets a V. Whether it's a tricky stadium effect or a specific counterattack, your VMAX is for sure getting hit by it too.
Which brings us to step 3, the ultimate risk. Because everything in this game is about balance, right? So what actually happens when a VMAX gets knocked out? Think about it. You've invested the time evolving it, you've carefully navigated the vulnerabilities, and you finally put it in the active spot to brawl. If your opponent manages to take down this colossal threat, what's the actual penalty? Keeping this high-stakes tactical narrative in the back of your mind is essential before you even think about playing the card.
Well, the penalty is 3 prize cards. Yes, 3. That is quite literally half of your opponent's entire win condition gone in a single knockout. Tactically speaking, this shifts the whole math of the game. Instead of needing 6 separate knockouts to win, your opponent suddenly only needs 2. You are putting half the game on the line the second you leave a VMAX in that active position.
So, with 3 prize cards on the line, is the VMAX evolution actually worth the risk? That really is the ultimate tactical question. You have to constantly weigh that massive HP and incredible damage output against basically handing your opponent a 2-turn win condition. Thanks so much for joining this explainer. Use these core mechanics to master the math of your very next match.